Audio check. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So we're here at the 2021 Farm Progress Show in Decatur, Illinois. I got Dad and brother with me. What are you guys going to look at?
Oh, whatever we see. Interesting.
Checking out buildings.
Trip so hard. Looking for some free food.
Free food.
Free food.
So we're going to split up and roam around and see what all we can find. So if you've never seen one of my farm show videos, usually I'll walk around and look at things and see something that strikes my interest. I'll stop, talk to the rep for a while and learn more about the product. There is quite a bit of stuff at this show. It's one of the biggest outdoor shows, I believe, in the country. So the service truck or service bed I have on my truck, first time I ever seen one that piqued my interest was at National Farm Machinery Show, and it's a bed just like this nap hide bed. I do like my bed better, but these are pretty good looking beds. So they got this lift here so you can change the oil, that way you can get under it and you could, now I'm joking, this thing goes up to like 7 foot tall, but the lift's pretty cool. Okay, so the first place I stopped by was the AGCO booth, and I bumped into a familiar face. Derek used to be our AGCO field rep, and now you're working on the Massey Ferguson brand, right?
Yeah, so now getting involved in the marketing of Massey Ferguson tractors. Really excited about the future of the business and excited to bring this 8S to the market today.
Yeah, so one thing I know, like this doesn't look like the Masseys I've seen. It doesn't look like our little Massey or 4707.
Yeah, your global series, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a bigger tractor, but in a smaller frame.
Yeah.
So what do you got going on here?
Yeah, so this tractor brings a brand new design to the Massey Ferguson
I guess we have,
brand.
what's the number on it? 8S?
So, yeah, so the 8S, so we've actually gone to like a frame style and then a...
horsepower?
Yeah, then the horsepower's after that. So like an 8S would be your frame size, and then the S is specification level. And then the 265 just is max horsepower, right? So we're everything from a 205 to a 265.
Okay. So that 265 is max power, like that's max boosted power?
Yep, that's max boosted power for you. Yep. Yeah, so you can kind of see the design of the tractor. We kind of have some heritage pieces here where this kind of brings homage back to our 100 series with this kind of the way this wraps around, and then the saber styling as well comes from our 3000 and 2000 series.
Yeah, so we've got an old Massey Ferguson at the farm, and I like the silver. Like it reminds me of that older tractor.
Yeah,
for sure.
So Massey has a really strong heritage, you know, with a lot of farmers, and we're excited to bring that to a new model as well. So, so that's kind of the main idea behind this design. But we also have, you know, as far as when it comes to Massey, we're thinking about comfort, simplicity, and performance is really the kind of the pillars of Massey Ferguson. And when you talk comfort, we got a brand new cab we're launching today, utilizing our Protect U design. So what's really unique is we have a 9.5-inch gap here, and we actually intake our engine air from back here.
So you're trying to get clean air, right?
Yeah,
there.
clean air, right? So blow all the dust down and away from you, and then bring in as clean air as we can. The cab is brand new. You know, the number one thing we needed was comfort. So what does that mean? Suspension. Make you feel comfortable with those long days you're running. Is that
suspended cab and axle, or just cab?
Yeah, so this particular tractor is suspended axle and mechanical.
So high speed also then?
Yeah, yep. Okay. So high speed on a CVT or Dyna E-Power.
Okay.
So, yeah, really excited about that new cab. You have to jump up in and see what you think.
Oh yeah, I'll check her out for sure.
But yeah, so kind of moving around, we're utilizing the same rear end as we use in our 87S.
Okay.
So a heavy built rear end.
So able to handle the power you're putting.
Well, that's the idea, right? And then back here, our hydraulics up to 5-rear remotes, and then we came out with a brand new hydraulic pump. It's a 54-gallon-minute pump, but it's an eco pump. So we get 54 gallon a minute at 1650 RPM.
Okay. Is that 54 gallon? Is that is there options for bigger, or is that
54
max?
is going to be our max, but
Okay.
you can go lower. Like if you don't need all 54, you can go down to a 29 actually. So.
Yep. Okay. Is it 1,000 and 540 PTO, or
1,000, 540, 540E. You know, any sort of economy PTO you're running today, we can do it here. Same way on the fronts, we have front hitch, front PTO.
Okay, you get front 3-point then?
Front 3-point, oh yeah, yeah, and then row crop tires or singles. You know, this tractor is built for all the farms out there, right? So whatever you're looking for, we can do it.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty nice unit. I'll definitely hop up in the cab,
Yeah,
check it out.
Check out how simple it is to run, and performance-wise, when you talk about the hydraulics, if you can run less RPM, that's less fuel, right?
Yeah.
So we can gain up to 10% fuel savings for you. You've already seen that on your 1000 series.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of the AGCO way, right? Is how do we make you more profitable at the end of the day? That's the whole idea. So thanks for being here, Brian. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for
Definitely
showing
take
me
a
around.
look and give us your thoughts.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
All right, so the cab of this thing feels pretty nice. Very modern. So this part reminds me a lot of our old Challenger, like the, what was that, 685? But the rest of it reminds me of just like a lot more modern machine. Like this joystick, that looks very Fendt-like. I like that. 2 monitors, that's pretty nice. I mean, that's also very Fendt-like, I guess. And then we've got this big A-pillar display. I don't know if that adjusts or it might be fixed. But I like how that looks. I know it seems to be the trend that a lot of the manufacturers are going to, trying to make the interior feel more and more like a car or a truck. So yeah, this one's definitely going that way. It seems like very nice interior. Cab feels very big. Passing the foot test, I can't reach the windshield. How am I going to rest my feet? Good visibility of the drawbar. Good visibility out the sides, and I'm guessing you can get dual fronts on there, and that'll kind of obstruct the visibility a little bit, but the exhaust pipe's not gigantic. Now some of that could be because this is a 265 horse tractor, not like a 365 horse tractor. So yeah, all in all, pretty nice. It's got the key in it. Should we just start it and leave? They probably wouldn't like that. We'll maybe try it the last day.
We'll take it. That'll work. Now come over here and get this football. Now for the hard part, getting the football into the bucket without dropping it and bringing the bucket back to rest on the Massey Ferguson mat. It must touch the mat.
Oh!
Well, we kind of dropped the ball on the football. Yeah, we didn't get the football in the bucket. How's that? So I was under the impression that the white brand, the white planters, was dropped. Turns out it's just labeled Massey Ferguson now. So they do still have 2 planters, the Ideal, or the Fendt Momentum, and the Massey Ferguson planter.
So Brian asked what I was looking for with the Farm Progress show, and I think I found it. Look at that 77. Ain't that pretty? Well, that's an interesting building concept. Alright, so here in just a few minutes, apparently this building is going to lift itself magically into the air. So this guy in front of us, he's got the apparatus that Brian needs. And Dad found what he's here for. His bet.
50-foot header. It's a big platform. Has winged flexes on the wings, and it flexes on the cutter bar, so it's a pretty impressive header. Go over there and get us a back massage. All sorts of cool stuff in the Yield 360 booth. One thing we would really like to try are the wide drops up here. So since we do side dressing corn with the sprayer, this year we've seen places where, you know, side dressing late season, we burnt some corn leaves, whereas with that we probably probably would not have done that.
But it's expensive.
So one product I wanted to stop and check out was the Yetter Devastator. I mentioned in a previous video that we're putting some Devastators on our new Capella folding head, so thought we would stop, look at it, and have a company rep actually explain the theory behind the Devastator. I can probably give you my version of it, but it's going to be my version of it and not 100% accurate, I'm sure. So, Andy, what's the theory behind the Devastator other than basically stock management or residue management, correct?
Yeah, so I mean, really the Devastator, when we first introduced those over a decade ago now, was we were trying to protect tires on the combine, grain cart, basically all tires, not just say the back tires on the combine. So that's where it really started. But we very quickly realized that we actually had a very significant residue management tool there, and so now really the Devastator, it's going to protect all the tires and everything like that, of course. But the most significant part of that is the residue breakdown that's achieved from the Devastator.
Yeah. Okay. On this pamphlet you got here, so this is, what were you telling me? This is like in winter after harvest?
Yeah. So basically, so these corn stalks right here, we can see 3 of each. And so on the left, that's with the Devastator. On the right, without a Devastator. So that's the same field, same hybrid, same everything. Basically, we just ran the Devastator on part of the field, and part of the field we did not. So what we're actually showing there, you can visibly see that with the Devastator, the inside of that stalk is much more broken down. It's black on the inside of there, and actually even the root ball itself, the size of the root ball is much smaller when we're using the Devastator. So the significance is we're actually able to get that stalk to break down and the root ball to break down faster, more efficiently, without actually causing any more cost, or another pass or anything like that in the field.
It seems like as we apply fungicides, and we're trying to keep that crop as healthy as possible, without some form of management, I mean, we've still got a very healthy stalk when we go into harvest, or not harvest, but even harvest the next year, even you can still see the stalks. So.
And in the ag industry, we always look for that next positive, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times what we forget to look at is what's the negative. And so for everything positive, there's something negative.
Yes, yes.
And so yes, you're right. I mean, we're trying to keep that plant healthier. We're trying to grow it stronger. We're trying to get it, do all these positive things to gain the yield. But then now what's that do after we're done with the plant, And so, residue management has become a bigger issue.
Yeah. One thing I like about your system over, like, say, a chopping corn head, I'm guessing there's a lot less horsepower requirement.
Definitely.
I mean, us running a gleaner, I mean, yeah, we're adding a little bit more weight, but we're also not taking any power. I think that's going to be a positive for us in our particular operation. Plus, things I've noticed with chopping corn heads, you see a lot of stalks blowing away all winter long, and this is still going to leave the stalk in. I mean, like you said, the root ball's crimped, but it's still attached to the ground, correct?
That positive and negative thing that I was talking about. So when we start talking about sizing the residue, chopping it up, everything like that, the positive is at least that we think anyway, is that we're gonna break that residue down faster. But then the negatives are the cost to do that.
Yeah.
And then also when we have that residue there, from October harvest until the next growing season, that's a whole lot of time to allow Mother Nature to blow that residue around or whatever. So how do we negate that negative or take away that negative? And really, we don't size it up. Yeah. But if we don't size it up, now how do we get those benefits that we thought we were getting from sizing it? So we've realized that actually if we leave it larger, but if we can just fracture that in multiple places, that's where the moisture comes out of that stalk. That's where we can get actually rain and other moisture in there, and then we can get that residue really to break down from the inside out. Yeah. But we're less prone to any water or wind erosion.
Yeah. So like for us, I mean, some wind, but we farm a lot in the floodplain. So, and it seems like it usually floods in the winter. So.
Yeah, and the other significant of this is I mentioned that we're fracturing that root ball, but we're not severing it.
Yeah.
So we're still leaving 2/3 or 3/4 of that root ball attached, and so then that's going to be less likely for that stalk then to be able to wash if we get some water erosion.
Yeah. One more quick question before we go. What kind of weight are we adding per row, roughly?
Yeah, so that varies a little bit on the head and mounts and everything like that, but a 12-row head's probably about 1,350 pounds.
Okay, so shade over 100 pounds per row.
A little over 100 pounds per row, yep.
Okay. All right, and can you go all the way out to 16 row? Or
we sure can,
okay.
Yep. 16 rows. We have 20-inch rows. We've done 18-row heads, or 18-row 20s, so yep.
All right, well, I know we're excited to try it. Like say, maybe eliminate tillage pass. If nothing else, at least get that residue more finally or more eroded and more desirable plant bed come spring, hopefully.
Yep, more efficiently breaking that residue down.
There we go. That's what I was trying to say. There we go. All right, thanks, man.
All right, thank you.
heard there's this big, goofy, bald guy that works at this Versatile booth, so we'll go check it out. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. What's going on?
Not much. Nice hat.
Thanks.
You know where I can get one of those?
Yeah, stop by tomorrow morning between 8 and 9, and
okay.
We'll get you fixed up.
All right, see you at 7:30.
Might even autograph it for you.
I always thought it was funny they put the finance company right beside the main gate. That way you can see where you're going to get the money to buy all this cool stuff. I'm sure there's some Welkers around this place somewhere, but I ain't found them yet. I know Scott's running around there, or Leg Arms, that's his name. Not Scott, I don't know who that is. So if you look straight ahead, you'll see the world's biggest rubbers. Talking about the Titan booth, one of the coolest booths this year. We got Whistling Diesel's Monster Max. That truck, it's getting bigger the closer I get. It thing's ridiculous looking. We got a Big Bud on 8 LSW 1400s. We got the Corn Star Ranch. We got their tractor, and then we got Welker's Beast Spine. So it's a lot of rubbers.
Look at that.
Anybody know that guy? How about those guys? Huh, this looks familiar. So this must be Oxbow's new wide drop system. So this is definitely something that we are interested in. Kind of thinking about jumping in that pool. So I think I found my lawnmower. My wife and I built our house. This one has air conditioning. That would work great. It's even got a cup holder. Perfect. All right, so walk around the other side of the show, and I've seen a Mandaco Land Roller. And where I'm farming in Ohio, we don't see those a lot, so figured I would stop and ask some questions. So, what's the theory behind a Land Roller? Like I said, we don't have them where I'm at, and really never seen them until I started watching YouTube. So.
Sure. So land rollers started as a rock roller.
Okay.
They were pushing rocks in the ground. They've evolved into a lot more than that. Seed soil contact for better germination. Some people roll the beans after they've emerged. That stresses the plant out. There's been studies that prove anywhere from 1 to 2, maybe 3 bushel an acre increase in yields. So, but just by stressing that plant out in that early V1, V2 stage.
Yeah. I've got a buddy in Minnesota, and he's told me that he can tell instantly when he pulls into the field if whoever was running the roller skipped this little field, or if it was a 5-acre field and they didn't feel like doing it. He said he can tell as soon as he gets in that field that it wasn't rolled. Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that. But,
yeah, it makes a big difference.
How do they work in a no-till situation? I mean,
you know what? Anywhere from pushing down clods and old root balls and stuff. They firm the seed bed for planting.
Okay.
Again, that better germination, better yield.
Okay. What kind of width do they come in? They come pretty large, don't they?
So we go up to 85 feet. Our 5-plex roller is 85 feet.
Okay.
Then we go small. This was 8. We do a 6-footer. 3 sections start 30 feet, 33, 60.
Okay.
And our 5 sections go 62 to 85.
Okay. What kind of horsepower requirements are?
Horsepower, not too much, but 4 horsepower a foot is rule of thumb.
Okay.
Again, you gotta work. Our rollers weigh about 500 pounds a foot on average, so you gotta have the weight there. So a 50-foot roller, ballpark 25,000 pounds. So you don't want the tractor in front of it. So.
And go as fast as you can go, or what's the speed?
Recommended 6 to 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you ever use one to roll your yard?
Yeah, we've been asked lots of times. Yeah. Parking lots, hay fields too. Yeah. Like I said, I was just curious. I've never really been around them much, and seems like an interesting concept. I wasn't sure how they'd work in minimal till environments. So. Yeah. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Thanks for answering the questions.
All right. Thank you.
Actual YouTube superstar, Whistling Diesel. There's a Cola Corn Star sighting. Actual YouTube superstar.
So walking through the show, I stumbled onto the Midland booth. I didn't even know Midland USA had a booth here, but these are the radios that we use on our farm. So people are always asking every harvest, once we start using them all the time, what kind of radios are you using? So figured who better to tell you guys what we're using than the guys from Midland. So here's got a nice little display of, it looks like just about everything.
Yeah, so this is our camper we tour around on our Midland summer tour right now. So we have the display where we have our 2-way radios, and then our in-unit installs that we would have on a dash or inside a tractor, a van Sprinter. These are going to give you your most range. They're GMRS. So we have 15 watts that get you 20-30 mile range. We also have our 50 watt on display right over here, which is not even out yet. That's going to get you anywhere from 20 to 50 mile range. And then we have our two-way radios that you can use when you're outside the vehicle. If you're hiking, snowboarders love our two-way radios as well. But basically anytime you're outside of a vehicle, you can use these to help communicate with one another.
Yeah, I know, like the GTX 1000s, we use those quite a bit. I mean,
yep,
great radio, and like just getting in my truck, driving around the road, I mean, 5 miles pretty easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is our little handheld. I mean, that's awesome.
This is our most powerful two-way radio. It's a GMRS and a FRS two-way radio. So, like Brian mentioned, it's 5 mile range. These ones are FRS two-way radios, so you're looking at anywhere from 2 mile range. You can get higher, up to 36 mile range if you're on salt flats, if you're mountaintop to mountaintop, open water, or if over a harvest. But on average, you're going to get 2 mile range with these, and then 5 miles with their GMRS two-way radio.
Yeah. Speaking of that radio, whenever we started using these, sitting there talking, and we're closing up the barns for the night and getting ready to head home, and I hear my neighbor coming through my radio, and talking to his grain cart operator, and I call him like, well, did they get hit by the car or not? Like, I could hear you guys. Like, oh, we've been listening to you guys all day. It's like,
yeah.
So they do have privacy codes. So.
They do, yes, and they also have open channels as well. But it's fun. I mean, even kids taking convoys or road trips, it's always fun. I know growing up, I enjoyed using walkie-talkies. So.
Well, that's the thing. I can never find mine because my kids always steal them.
Yeah, they're great for hide and go seek.
Yeah.
If you want a more, a better way of doing hide and go seek, you definitely can use our two-way radios for that.
Right. Yeah. So what's this one right here then? Is that like the 275 version of the 50 watter?
Yeah, so this is our MXT 575. It's a little bigger compared to our MX 275.
Okay.
Yeah, fast charger, a USB-C port. Again, this is get you anywhere from 20 to 50 mile range, depending on where you're at. Mountaintop to mountaintop, open water, salt flats are gonna get the highest range. But on average, you can probably get that lower scale anywhere from 20 to 40 mile range. But yeah, a little bit bigger. The cool thing is everything's on the actual mic. So you have the power button, the channels, the scans, all that's right here. So you actually can hide this anywhere you want. A lot of people will put it underneath the seat, they'll put it in the glove box, they'll put it in the center console. Tractors love it because of how versatile it is.
Yeah, for sure. So on the 275, if I remember right, isn't there a speaker in the actual head unit and on the mic?
Yeah, there is.
Is there one on that too?
Yep, there's one on the actual base unit and on the mic.
Okay.
There's also an external port in the back, so you actually can purchase one of our Midland external speakers to get that sound quality if you need a little bit more volume. I know when you're out in the fields, it's a little loud. A lot of the tractors are really loud, so you always can get an external speaker and hook it up that way as well.
So, you ever take it off any sweet jumps?
I try to. Shush. You can't tell Midland. It is the commercial vehicle. But yeah, this is our brand new, fully loaded 2021 Rubicon. Obviously, it's wrapped with Midland. We have all of our brand partners from all the stuff you see on top. Yeah, they decked it out. Obviously, go big, go home. So that's what Midland did.
Yeah, it looks good.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, appreciate the info.
Yeah, of course, Brian. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
So I have no coupon code with Midland. Do have somewhat of a relationship with them guys, but they did give me this decal. And if you want a Midland, just use that code and you'd get 15% off. Doesn't benefit me. I don't care if you use it or not. I'm putting the sticker on my rocks hard.
Well, isn't that pretty?
So if you missed it, we have a towel plow. It's like that one right there. So had to stop in and talk to the Soilmax guys. Which now we're going to swing over to the Ag Leader booth because Ag Leader, they own Soilmax. So this is very similar to our corn planter. So we were running this meter, this downforce setup. That's still a stock John Deere link. You can tell because it does that. Our John Deere parallel arm. So when we rebuilt our planter last winter, if you missed those videos, we also replaced those. Not a fun task, but you don't want that side wobble on a new build. So the show is over for today. Like the vendors are all closing down and whatnot, but we'll pick up here tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to thumbs up the video and leave us a comment, and we'll see you in the next one.